How's it going, guys? Welcome to VFG Movie Reviews, and this is my review for the 30th anniversary of The Crow. I love this film. I am going to tell you right now, this is one of my all-time favorite films. Definitely in the top 10. That top 10's crowded, but it's definitely in there. I am so glad I got to see this 30th anniversary screening, and I have to say my theater was absolutely packed, and it was so good and so nice to see that many Crow fans and the reaction of when they showed the new Crow trailer that we get. Where is that? This sad UK drill rapper. They absolutely cussed, screamed, said it looks like garbage, because you want to know what? It does. And I will be doing a deeper dive into my dislike of the up-and-coming Crow movie, just like I did a final thoughts before Borderlands, the movie, comes out. But enough of me rambling on. Oh, I will say, I wasn't going to do this review yet. I was waiting until October to do it, because in September, I am getting to go to Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee's grave. I'm going to do a whole video about it for you guys, and I was going to do the review of The Crow and a review of one of Bruce Lee's films, which I will still do, but I'll pick a different Brandon Lee movie. But yeah, let's get into this review. So we have Brandon Lee as Eric Draven. We have Michael Wincott as Top Dollar. Ernie Hudson as Sergeant Albrecht, which I have to say, this is one of my favorite roles of Ernie Hudson. We have Bai Ling as Mercy, and let me tell you, I love me some Bai Ling, especially in this movie. I'm sorry, but especially. We have Sophia Shanes playing Shelley Webster. Rachel Davis played Little Sarah. Ann Thompson as Darla. David Patrick Kelly playing T-Bird. Lawrence Mason playing Tintin. Angel Davis playing Skank. Michael Massey playing Funboy. Tony Todd, the Candyman himself, playing Grage, something like that. And my ever-loving God, the acting in this movie is tremendous. The bad guys, Tintin, T-Bird, Funboy, Skank, God, you fucking hate these guys. And every time Eric delivers his justice, it is so earned and so beautiful. Tintin gets a knife put in each one of his organs in alphabetical order, which I don't know how they figured that one out, but whatever. It makes for a great line. It's kind of one of those things like, oh, they don't know that actually happened, but it's kind of one of those, it's a good line. It's a good line. It was a tragedy that Brandon Lee had to die during this film, and for what he shot and what they had to do with CG mapping. And on a side note, the guy who stunt doubled Mad Max in Fury Road was also Brandon Lee's stunt double, who basically played Brandon Lee throughout the movie when they did the rewrites for the movie. And the music in this, the Crow's soundtrack is so goddamn amazing. And we have cameos from some of the bands that are on the soundtrack, the Thrill Kill Cult, My Life with a Thrill Kill Cult, which they are amazing. If you haven't listened to any of them, go listen to them. Get the soundtrack. Elaborate your mind. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Everybody in this And what is going to separate this crow from the new crow is the love story. You believe the love story between Shelley and Eric. And even in the trailer, you see that love and what drives those characters. In the new trailer for Bill Skarsgård's Crow, you don't see that and you don't get that. And it's just, I don't want to harp on the new one. I want to keep it focused on this one, but it's funny because I read a thing on IMDb, don't know if this is true or not, but Luke Evans backed out of the role because he felt unworthy to step into Brandon Lee's shoes to play the Crow. Don't know if that's true. It's according to IMDb, but everybody in this, from Brandon Lee, Michael Quinn, David Patrick Kelly, they all were just absolutely amazing. And top dollar, being he's not really a main player until very end of the movie, he's so vicious and just with everything. How he takes out Gideon after Gideon's palms blown up by Eric. And you get a cameo from James O'Barr, the writer and the guy who created the Crow comic book, in this. And it's just brilliant. And yes, there are people who are going to say, oh, but man, when they're showing the city, it just looks so janky. Yeah, they were models. But I think that's what adds to the greatness of this film, that it adds to the grit of Detroit and the just lawlessness of it all. And it just adds to it. And it's beautiful. On a side note, the guitar that gets smashed before Eric goes after Top Dollar, actually the hotel I worked at, the Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, the original one, they had that guitar. And when they took it off the wall to put it in the warehouse, I actually got to touch it. And it was amazing. I always wanted it. And I begged the guy to give it to me. And they obviously couldn't. But I begged. I begged and pleaded. I even offered to do a little, hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? But, hey, this movie is awesome. Every cinefan, fan of good films should show this to their friend. Be like, hey, I got a movie for you. Let's sit down and watch The Crow. It's amazing. Now, the sequels weren't that amazing. Except for Crow City of Angels, that was actually really damn good. The rest of the sequels sucked nuts, and the TV show was hella convoluted. But where does this lie on my 5-star review scale? The story is a 4.5. Cinematography is a 4. The characters are a 4. The design of this movie is amazing. And it is a 5, which brings our total to 4.375. Let me know down below. Did you guys see The Crow? Did anybody get out for the 30th anniversary showing? I would love to have a conversation with you. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Help us grow in 2024. And I will see you in my next review. Bye.